Hey, today I'm here with my Magician's Apprentice and we're going to be talking about the game Trickerion. When you have a game with lots of content, it's so difficult to decide what exactly you want to include. Now, I have made 2 player aids for this. One of them is just for the base game, and the other one is including as much content that you can play with at the same time. Now, this includes Dahlgaard's Academy, the majority of Dahlgaard's gifts, the Dawn of Technology expansion, and the Secret Workshop promo. What it doesn't include is the latest expansion, the Arcane Arts expansion, because mainly that cannot be used with the rest of the expansions. So if you do want to play with the Arcane Arts expansion, then I would suggest using my base game player aid and using that small rulebook. I've also not included the Wizard Power part of the Dahlgaard's Gift, as again, it's incompatible with the Dawn of Technology expansion. So before we go into the setup or anything else, one thing I'll suggest is to shuffle all cards with the blue Dahlgaard's Academy icon and all cards with the red Dawn of Technology icon into their respective special assignment decks. Also add the pending prophecies from the Dahlgaard's Academy expansion into the supply of pending prophecies.
I'm going to be talking us through the setup. So first, let's place the Academy board on the side for the player count. So you're going to cover room spaces on the Academy board with closed room tiles. For 2 or 4 players, you cover A and B slots, but for 3 players, we just cover the A slots. Separate practice and classroom tiles by type and fame threshold into 6 face-down stacks near the Academy board. Then we'll shuffle secret tiles into a face-down stack. Place 2 face up on the Academy board. Now place the Secret Workshop card next to the game board. Separate the trick cards into 4 decks by category and place them face up above their corresponding slots on the top left of the game board. Shuffle the 5 special assignment decks sorted by location and place them face down below their corresponding slots on the bottom right of the game board. Now you'll fill the theatre performance slots top right of the game board from left to right with a number of face-up Riverside Theatre cards equal to the player count -1. Then we'll create the face-down performance deck consisting of 2 Riverside Theatres on top of 2 Grand Manjorian on top of 2 Magnus Pantheon cards. But with 2 players, we'll use the Duel of Magicians performance cards for the above 2 steps. Shuffle 7 Duel of Magicians turn setup cards into a face-up deck. So place the Trickerion shard on the 1 slot of the turn counter track. Then place open room tokens on the turn counter track. Now for 2 or 4 players, place on 4 and 6, but for 3 players, we're going to place on the 5. So fill the market row with 1 wood, 1 metal, 1 glass and 1 fabric component. Now randomly choose a start player and then beginning with that player and proceeding clockwise, each player is going to choose a magician. Each chosen magician must have a unique favourite trick category not already chosen. Then we're going to take the following: 1 magician card, use the side with the ability icon, 1 magician poster card matching your magician, 1 signature trick matching your magician, 1 player board matching your favourite trick placed on the shard icon side, 1 magician and 1 academy workbook, 1 contraption board matching your favourite trick, 4 contraptions matching your favourite trick, 12 banners, 20 trick markers, 5 of each type, 4 symbol markers, 1 of each type, 4 academy markers, 1 of each type, 1 magician meeple or additional player marker in retail version, 1 player marker, place this on the 5 slot of the fame track, 7 permanent assignment cards, 1 workshop, 1 dark alley, 2 theatre, 1 market row, 1 downtown and 1 academy, 2 Trickerion shards, 12 coins, 8 characters. Place the magician and 1 apprentice on your player board, 1 protege board, 2 protege discs, and place the 1 AP disc on the protege slot. And lastly, using your magician's workbook, we're going to choose 1 level 1 trick card in your magician's favourite trick category. And then you're going to place this in the workshop on your player board and mark it with a symbol marker. Now, if you've chosen either the Mechanica, Lumina the Radiant, Priestess of Mysticism, Or, Professor Bernard, you receive a level 1 signature trick. You may pay 1 shard to place this in your workshop as your starting trick instead of the standard trick. You may not choose your signature trick as your bonus starting trick if you choose the engineer as your starting specialist. If you choose Professor Bernard, gain his 2 special symbol and academy markers, and then in turn order, each player takes components from the supply with a combined value of 2 coins and places them in their workshop on their player board. Then, in turn order, each player chooses a specialist and takes its board, extension, character disc, and its setup bonus. For the manager, take additional components with a combined value of 2 coins and place them on the manager extension. For the engineer, take 1 level 1 trick card of your choice and place it on the engineer extension and mark it with a symbol marker. With the assistant, you take an additional apprentice and place it on the assistant extension. If a player's starting trick component requirements are already met by their starting components, including any gain from the manager, they may immediately prepare that trick for free. Place 3 random prophecies on the slots on the fortune teller orb. Place the remaining prophecies face down next to the game board. Place each player's magician marker on the initiative track in a random order. This is the initiative order for round 1. Players in the 2nd, 3rd and 4th positions receive 2, 4 or 6 additional coins. For 2 players, only the 1st and 3rd initiative order slots are used, affecting advertisement costs and additional starting coins.
Trickerion is a worker placement game where players take the role of famous magicians, all competing over the course of 7 weeks to try and gain the most fame. Each round has the following 8 phases. Phase 1, roll the dice. We roll the 6 downtown dice and place them on their matching coloured slots in the downtown area. An X means that no action is available for that dice at this round. If playing with 2 players, you block 2 slots in the downtown, market, dark alley and theatre with face down discs in an unused colour according to the top card of the turn setup deck. Phase 2, skip this in round 1. From round 2 onwards, rearrange the initiative track according to the fame track. Lowest fame goes first. If tied, reverse those players' previous initiative order. Players may choose to advertise by paying coins equal to their initiative position order, 1 to 4, and then placing their poster above their magician marker and gaining 2 fame. Players may place 1 assignment card or 1 special assignment card face down below each character disc on their player board and assistant board. Characters without assignment cards will not be placed and are idle. Players simultaneously reveal all assignment cards. In initiative order, each turn a player either moves 1 character disc from their player board to a free character slot at a location shown on its assignment card, or, instead of placing a disc, they make a character idle by turning its assignment card face down. When a character is placed, it receives action points equal to the number on the bottom of its disc, plus any modifier printed below the slot it is placed in. These action points are immediately spent on actions at that location. Now, you may buy 1 action point by paying 1 Trickerion shard at any location except for the theatre. You can only buy 1 additional action point with a shard per character disc placement. You may always choose to forego the printed bonus on a special assignment card assigned to a character to instead gain 1 additional action point at that location. This is in addition to the action point you may gain from spending a shard. Players continue placing 1 character disc per turn until all characters are placed or made idle. In Thursday to Sunday order, each player with a magician on that corresponding performance slot in the theatre performs as follows. Choose 1 performance card that contains at least 1 of your trick markers. Perform all tricks on that card, including opponent's tricks. Each trick card rewards the indicated fame, coins, and shards. If you have any characters on a Thursday, reduce the fame and coins gained from each trick by 1 to a minimum of 0. If you have any characters on Sunday, increase the fame and coins gained from each trick by 1. If you have no characters in the theatre, you use the performing magician's yield modifier instead. Score 1 fame per trick link on the performance card regardless of marker colour. Gain 2 fame for your assistant, 3 coins for your manager, and 1 Trickerion shard for your engineer if you have placed them backstage in the theatre. Gain the bonus printed on the bottom of the chosen performance card. Then discard all trick markers on the card back to the player's supplies. If a trick card in a classroom still has trick markers in the theatre and/or workshop, now remove them and return them to the owner's supply. In initiative order, each player gains the rewards from the trick cards in the classrooms. Classroom slot modifiers apply. Each player must pay 1 coin for each of their non-idle apprentices, except the one on the assistant's board extension, and 2 coins for each of their non-idle specialists. Lose 2 fame per coin you cannot play. You can't go below 0 fame. Players return all of their character discs to their player board, including those hired this round in the downtown area. If a specialist was hired, also gain its board extension.
The manager extension adds 2 component slots. A component stacked here counts as +1 of its type. The engineer's extension adds a special trick slot. When a trick is prepared here, gain 1 additional trick marker on the card. The assistant's extension adds an extra apprentice who does not require wages. If you start the game with an assistant, you gain this apprentice immediately. If you gain an assistant during the game, you have to use its Move Apprentice action once to assign an assistant to it for the rest of the game.
Move all components from the order area on the right to the matching slots in the buy area on the left. The components already on those slots in the buy area are returned to the supply, and also discard the component in the quick order slot. Move all performance cards 1 slot around the theatre in a clockwise direction. Then draw 1 new card to fill the leftmost gap. From the 3rd round onwards, also discard the last performance card, returning any markers on it back to the owner's supply, and then return all Magician's posters. Advance the Trickerion stone 1 step on the turn counter track. If the stone reaches a space with an open room token, remove the 2 closed room tiles from the Academy slots marked with that token's letter, A or B. Discard the active prophecy. There won't be one in round 1. Then move the leftmost pending prophecy into the active prophecy slot. Move the remaining pending prophecies 1 slot clockwise. Then draw a new one and place it face up on the rightmost prophecy slot. Move all used face up special assignment cards face down to the bottom of their decks. Then return all face down cards below idle characters to their owner's hand. Return any secrets in the Academy to the bottom of the secret stack. Then place 2 new secrets face up in the Academy. Flip each player's inactive contraptions to active if the shard symbols next to their contraption slot are fully filled. If the contraption slot shows a fame value beneath it, they gain that fame when that contraption is reactivated. If a contraption is already active at the start of this step, they gain no fame from it. Trickerion shards, when gained, are stored on the shard symbols beside the contraption slots on the left edge of your player board. Place gained shards on these symbols from bottom to top. Spend these shards from top to bottom, and any excess shards are kept separately in your play area, and these must be spent before spending the shards on your player board.
In the downtown area, players can choose the following actions. First, you can learn a new trick. Now, I would suggest using your Magician's Workbook for this, as this shows you all of the different levels and different types of tricks available. There's 4 different types of tricks, and you don't have to pick the one that your magician is an expert in. You also don't actually have to buy just the trick on top of the deck. The whole deck is available to you. Choose any available trick, then place it on an empty workshop slot on your player board with 1 of your symbol markers. The tricks category must match a white die, and a question mark allows any category. Then set that die to X. You may instead learn your signature trick instead of a standard trick. After learning a signature trick, locate its standard counterpart. If it's in a Dahlgaard's residence deck, discard it from the game. If it is in another player's workshop, do nothing. If it's in your workshop, replace it with the signature version, discarding the standard trick card from the game. Move the symbol marker and any trick markers onto the signature trick. If the standard trick had markers in the theatre, those markers now represent the signature version. You may instead learn a trick from your magician's favourite category, then set any white die to X. You do not need to meet a trick's component requirement to learn it. Each trick has a fame threshold. You may only learn it if your fame meets or exceeds this value, or pay the difference between your current fame and the threshold with coins. Tricks with a threshold of 1 are considered level 1 tricks, with a threshold of 16 are considered level 2, and with the threshold of 36 are considered level 3. Tricks may be returned to the Dahlgaard residence at any time, then also return all associated markers to your supply. So for 3 action points, you can hire a character. Choose 1 grey die and place 1 unused character disc corresponding to the die from your supply on the inn. Then set the die to X. For 3 action points, take coins. Choose 1 black die and take coins equal to the die roll from the supply. Then set the die to X. For 2 action points, you can set a die. Change any 1 die to a result of your choice, including an X die. For 1 action point, you can re-roll a die and re-roll any die, including an X die.
Each player has a number of actions available just to them in their play area. For 1 to 3 action points, you can prepare a trick. The action point cost to prepare a trick is shown in the lower left box of the trick card. You may take multiple prepare actions per character disc placement. To prepare a trick, you place trick markers on the trick card equal to the number of overlapping squares shown on it. Use markers matching the symbol marker used when the trick was learned. To prepare a level 1 signature trick, you must have at least 1 contraption built. To prepare a level 2 signature trick, you must have at least 2 contraptions built. And to prepare a level 3 signature trick, you must have at least 3 contraptions built, whether active or inactive. A trick may be prepared if its component requirements are met and it doesn't already have any trick markers on it. Markers in the theatre do not prevent this. Components are not spent when preparing. The same components may be used for multiple tricks and multiple prepare actions. A trick in the engineer's trick slot gains +1 trick marker when prepared there. The maximum amount of trick markers a trick card can have is 5. If you have a manager, for 1 action point you can move components. You move one of the component piles on your player board to the manager's component slot, or swap it with the pile there. If you have an engineer, for 1 action point you can move tricks. You move one of the tricks on your player board to the engineer's trick slot, or swap it with the trick there. If you have an assistant, for 1 action point you can move an apprentice. This is only relevant if you gain an assistant during the game rather than during setup. Permanently move 1 apprentice and its assignment card, if any, to the assistant's apprentice slot for the rest of the game. For 1 action point you can build a contraption. Place 1 of your contraption tokens on the bottommost empty contraption slot on your contraption board, active side up. Each slot shows a coin cost for this action. You must be able to pay it to build a contraption there. You may build a contraption regardless of whether or not you have enough shards on the adjacent shard symbols. Newly built contraptions start active, so you can always use them at least once. Each contraption may be used once per round before placing a character in the place characters phase. To use a contraption, you flip it from active to inactive and gain the printed benefit on its slot. A character disc assigned with a workshop assignment can also be placed on the secret workshop promo card. If done so, the following action is available instead of the other workshop actions. For a number of action points, you can do expert preparations. For each action point spent, you may place 1 trick marker on a trick if you meet its component requirements, even if it already has trick markers on it. Use markers matching the symbol marker used when the trick was learned. Ignore the standard action point cost of the trick, but the normal trick marker limit for the trick will still apply.
Players in the market row can do the following actions. For 1 action point, you can buy. You can buy up to 3 components of the same type from the buy area on the left, or the quick order area for +1 coin per component. The number of dots on the bottom of each component shows how many coins it costs. Components are taken from the general supply when bought, but not the buy area. Quantities are unlimited. Place the bought components on your player board. Different component types occupy separate slots. Multiples of the same type are stacked on each other. You may have a maximum of 3 of any component and may return components to the supply at any point to make room. The manager board extension has 2 extra component slots. Components stacked here count as +1 component without increasing the 3 component limit. For example, 3 components in one of these slots counts as 4. For 1 action point, you can bargain. This may only be used with a buy component action. You reduce the total purchase cost by 1 coin per action point spent to a minimum cost of 1 coin. For 2 action points, you can quick order. Place any one component from the supply onto the quick order slot. If the slot is occupied, first return the existing component to the supply. The place component immediately becomes part of the market row stock for all players this round and may be purchased using the buy action. However, its coin cost is increased by 1 per component. For 1 action point, you can order, which means place any one component from the supply into an empty slot on the order area on the right of the market row. It will become available next round. Players can perform the following actions in the dark alley area. For 1 action point, you can visit the fortune teller and move each pending prophecy 1 slot clockwise.
In the Dark Alley area, you can also draw special assignment cards. The first card you draw with each character placement is cheaper than the rest. The first card you draw will only cost 1 action point, but any further cards cost 2. When drawing a special assignment card, you draw 2 cards from any one special assignment deck in a Dark Alley. You keep one of those cards and place the other on the bottom of this deck. If you do multiple card draw actions with a single character placement, you draw all the cards at once and then decide which ones you want to supply. But each action will only allow you to draw 2 cards from one special assignment deck.
When drawn, these cards are added to your hand of assignment cards and are used during subsequent assignment phases. The special assignment cards are single use. Each card grants a powerful bonus that enhances 1 action only, even if the character performs that action multiple times, unless stated otherwise. When placing a character with a special assignment card, any action at that location may be chosen. If the action is not the enhanced one, the bonus is lost. Cards with an icon may apply their bonuses to any one action at the location. A player may always choose to forego the printed bonus to instead gain 1 action point at the location.
Theatre slots are divided into 4 day columns: Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. During a round, a player may place character discs on 1 day only, and that day must not already contain any character discs belonging to an opponent. Characters in the theatre cannot gain 1 extra action point from spending a Trickerion shard. The top 2 rows in a day are the backstage slots, which give you access to the set up a trick and reschedule actions. The bottom row contains the performance slot, which may only be occupied by a magician. Players have the following actions available to them in the theatre area. For 1 action point, you can set up a trick. You move one of your trick markers from a trick in your workshop to a free slot on any performance card above the theatre. The marker represents that trick until it's performed or the performance card is discarded at the end of the round. The corner of the marker showing the trick's category must align with a link circle. Each player may place at most 1 trick marker per trick on each performance card. After placing a trick marker, if 2 matching category symbols occupy the same link circle, those tricks are linked. Multiple links may be created with a single placement. The player who created a link immediately gains a bonus based on the level of the trick they placed. For a level 1 trick, it's 1 fame or 1 coin, 2 fame or 2 coins for a level 2, or 3 fame or 3 coins for a level 3. If the link circle contains a shard symbol, each player with a trick marker in the link gains 1 shard. Creating a link with your own trick grants 1 shard total. For 1 action point, you may reschedule. You move one of your placed trick markers to a free slot in the same or another performance card. Placement rules still apply, but no link or shard bonuses will be gained. Now, if you have a magician available, you may place it in one of the perform slots. Only a magician may be placed in one of these slots. Then the perform action is resolved during the subsequent performance phase. Your magician may not take any other theatre action when placed here.
Players can perform the following actions in the academy area. For 2 action points, you can renovate. You choose an empty room with no closed room tile. Left side spaces are classrooms, right side spaces are practice rooms. Choose one of the printed coin fame ratios on that space. You must meet its fame requirement or pay the difference between your current fame and the threshold requirement with coins. Pay coins and gain fame per the chosen ratio. You must be able to pay the full cost. Look through the matching classroom or practice room stack. Choose one tile and place it face up on that space. Place banners on the adjacent banner slots based on the current round. If it's rounds 1 to 2, 4 banners. If it's rounds 3 to 4, 3 banners. If it's rounds 5 to 6, 2 banners. If it's round 7, 1 banner. You may only renovate if you have at least 1 available banner remaining. If you do not have enough banners, place as many as you can. If a player places their last available banner, each other player discards 1 unused banner from the game, if any. You can also practice. The action point cost is equal to the level of tricks. Place an academy marker for one of your tricks onto an empty practice room slot. That trick gains this practice room's bonus. With this action, you may move an academy marker from one practice room slot to another. You can't move an academy marker from a classroom to a practice room. You may return an academy marker from a practice room slot at any time to free it. The trick does not need to meet its component requirements to be placed in a practice room. You can also teach. The action point cost is equal to the level of the trick. Place an academy marker for one of your tricks onto an empty classroom slot. With this action, you may move an academy marker from a practice to a classroom, or from one classroom to another. To place a trick in a classroom, you must either meet its component requirements or have at least 1 trick marker on it. If the trick and classroom share the same fame threshold, gain the one-time bonus printed between the 2 classroom slots. Now, once a trick is in a classroom, it may no longer be prepared. If it has trick markers when placed in the classroom, they remain. It may still be performed, but for this round only. If the trick is discarded from the workshop back to Dahlgaard's residence, remove its academy marker from the classroom. This is the only way such a marker is removed. Now, for 2 action points, you can learn a secret, but this is 1 use per character placement. Choose 1 secret from the academy, then either place it in the lowest empty slot on your protege board or replace an existing secret on your protege board. Discard the replaced secret from the game. After gaining your second secret, flip your protege disc. This increases its wage from 0 to 1 coin. After gaining your third secret, replace your protege disc with a 3 action point disc. This increases its wage from 1 to 2 coins. Each secret grants an ongoing protege ability. For 1 action point, you can discover new secrets. Draw 1 new secret and place it on an empty academy secret slot. This action is only possible if there is an available empty secret slot. The game ends after the 7th round. Now, players score additional fame as follows to a maximum of 20 fame for each of the 4 following categories. Score 2 fame per 3 unspent Trickerion shards, including those in contraption slots. Score 1 fame per 3 unspent coins. Score 2 fame per unused special assignment card. Each level 3 trick scores additional fame if its component requirements are met or you have at least 1 trick marker on the trick. Score fame based on the most banners placed. For 2 players, most banners score 8 fame, ties score 0 fame. For 3 players, most banners score 12 fame, second most 6 fame. Ties for most score 6 fame. Ties for second most score 0 fame. For 4 players, most banners score 15 fame, second most 10 fame, third most 5 fame. Ties for most scores 10 fame, ties for second most scores 5 fame, and ties for third most scores 0 fame. A player who placed 0 banners scores 0 fame in this step. The player with the most fame wins. Ties are broken by initiative order.
And that's Trickerion. That's everything you need to learn to play this expert version of the game. Now, I recommend you have at least 1 copy of the player aid I made for it to look at while you're playing, because I haven't gone into iconography or any additional rules for secrets and things like that, or prophecies. Everything you need will be on the player aid to save you having to look through multiple rule books.
Now go ahead and learn tricks, prepare and perform them, and become a world-class magician.
Cool.
He disappeared.